Hey guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. It's episode number 16, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but today we're beginning yet another new season. Yes, our third season getting underway already in this series. Today we see the first game of the Serie A campaign away against Atalanta, what happened in pre-season, and of course the transfer, can I call it a special? Well, what happened in the transfer window as well. Let's get straight to it. Shouldn't really come as much of a surprise. There weren't major deals happening in this window, but yeah, just the four signings in the end for Brescia, and some interesting departures though, which we'll begin with to start off. As you can see, we released a few players come the end of the season, including some important first team members of years gone by. Enrico Alfonso, who was our first choice goalkeeper for most of season 1, he was released on a free transfer. We also released Morosini as well, who played quite a lot for us last season. He was actually homegrown and trained at Brescia. I was contemplating keeping him on, but I felt as though we could get better and someone different to come in and do his role. Tremolado, who came out from his loan spell and didn't play for us at all last season, was released as well. And Daniela De Sena, who of course was a regular member of our squad the past 2 seasons, but 34 years old now. I wanted to keep him on as a staff member, but he wanted to keep on playing, so I said, fair enough, you can go elsewhere. I'm not going to keep you here as you're not good enough anymore. But the biggest deals for sales and the interesting ones, first and foremost, Donnarumma was sold to Pisa for £250,000. As we discussed, we had a bit of a striker overload last season, so totally fine getting rid of this guy's contract, as we had no need for him anymore. But the interesting sales are these three right here, 3 of our young talents. Now, Getty's gone out on loan once again, this time to Vicenza in Serie B, but Buttarini, one of our talented academy players, he left to Pescara for a very cheap deal. You'll see that Gallardi, who you might remember, you might not, we signed him from Milan for about £1 million. We sold him to Chelsea for, I think it was £1.5 million in the summer, and we did the same with Lucignoli going to Liverpool for £1 million. Now, these are 2 really talented teenagers, and you might be wondering why we sold them to the Premier League sides for very cheap deals. Now, the reason being is quite simple. I wanted to give them contract extensions, but they both wouldn't listen to new talks, and therefore they were willing to let their contracts run down, and I didn't want to lose them for free. But the key with these 2 deals here is what we've done is we sold them to those big clubs, but we have arranged 50% sell-on clauses with both Liverpool and Chelsea, and I believe we did the same with Buttarini. Yes, we did indeed. So for these 3 talented teenagers here, we agreed 50% sell-on clause with the clubs, and that means that, let's say Lucignoli ends up being a fantastic player in years gone by, leaves Liverpool for like 20-30 million pounds, then we'll get like 10 to 15 million at a later date. So instead of just losing them for free come the end of the season, whilst it does look as though we undersold these players massively, especially in the case of Lucignoli, the big thing is the fact we arranged those sell-on clauses there. So I love sell-on clauses, I really do, and yeah, that's the key with those sales there, why they happen and why they're not as bad as they possibly look. Now, as for the new signings, once again, there are only 4 players coming in, and don't get too excited, guys. I mean, we're Brescia, for goodness sake. It's only season 3. We're not supposed to be making major moves in the windows just yet. But the first of 4 signings, my head of youth development arranged this for me. I've got my head of youth development right now arranging deals with young talents, and I sign off on whether I think they're good enough or not. Carlo Carvalho was the signing he made for us in the summer. He could be right, he might not be, but yeah, that's 1 of 4. Don't get too excited, like I said. But it does get a bit more exciting than that, trust me. Next signing is Matias Agogoni, the attacking midfielder who I discussed at the very end of last season, the season finale. I was hoping Hellas Verona would get relegated because this is one of the players that I wanted to snatch away from them, and that's exactly what we've done. There's not really that much difference between him and Morosini, who of course we had here last season and released, but Agogoni is the slightly better player, I would say, all round. Slightly better player. So it's not that much difference. Yeah, he's a little bit better in basically every single area, and therefore I decided to bring him in. And as you can see, we signed him for Hellas Verona for just £3.4 million. He's been a regular in their team the past 2 years in the Serie A, and done okay, nothing significant, but he's done alright, and been ever present in their starting 11. And again, we made the switch, put him on a four-year deal, £26,000 a week, not the priciest of contracts, and he's got some decent stats. You know, physically nothing really jumps out at you, but mentally 16 determination, 14 flair, 16 off the ball, 14 teamwork, and 14 work rate with 13 13 vision is pretty nice as well. And technically as well, you know, 13 first touch, 13 passing, 13 technique. He's just really bog standard of a player, but a slight upgrade on Orsolini. So Agogoni comes in, he's alright. So next up is a player that we've re-signed to Brescia after losing him way back in episode 1. Yeah, in the series opener, we lost this guy to Bologna on a compensation deal, and I was kind of gutted about it as well, because when I started playing the save for the first time, Bologna poached him away on a compensation deal, and I was quite sad because he's one of the most talented young Brescia players here when we first started the game. He's actually played about 11, 12 times in the Serie A in real life as well, so like in the game, in real life, he's a very good young talent. Bologna did snatch him away, but they didn't play him, and therefore I tried to bring him back this summer. Had to pay 3.5 mil to get him, but we have re-signed him, and due to a Sellon clause that was arranged in the compensation deal, it's actually not 3.5 mil, even though it says it. I mean, the fee was 3.5 mil. Because of the Sellon clause, we get about £500,000 back, so really, it's about £3 million we lost on this deal. But either way, we get Papetti back, and quite happy about it too, because physically, very, very well balanced all across the board for just a 19-year-old. He's already got 14 jumping, 14 acceleration, agility, balance, and pace as well, with 16 natural fitness and 14 strength at 6'1" too. Mentally, reads the game very well for a kid that just turned 19 years old, with 17 determination. You know, I love that. And technically too, 14 heading, 13 marking, and 13 tackling as well. Pretty decent young talent. I'm not going to say he's going to set the world alight, but glad to have him back. And because we signed him back at still such a young age, and he spent time at Brescia before, it does mean that I believe in a year's time he'll get the homegrown, trained at Brescia status as well. So very happy to get him back. Lost a bit of money on his little stint to Bologna, but happy he's come back. He's a European Championship under-19 winner of Italy as well. So glad to have Papetti back, and yeah, excited to have him back here at Rigamonti. And the final signing of the 4 is not a player that will get bums off seats. He is not a player that is going to set the world alight, but he's my sort of player. Yes, I teased you this guy's stats on Twitter yesterday afternoon. I'm so happy to have him, because whilst he's not a big name, he's the sort of player that the manager absolutely loves. Yes, welcome to Rigamonti, Stefano Sturaro. So happy about this signing. My first signing of the window, and I'm buzzing to have this guy. Now, I tried to sign him last season, but sadly couldn't get Genoa to be reasonable with a transfer offer. But after being relegated from the Serie A back in Season 1 with Genoa, he went down to the Serie B. He stayed in the Serie B, was ever present in their team, scoring 5 goals and getting 4 assists, averaging just under a 7.0 in 41 games, and he helped win them promotion via the playoffs as they're back in the Serie A this year. But in the summer, they put him on the transfer list for whatever reason. We snapped him up for £5 million, and I'm so happy to have this guy here. The guy's a winner. He's won several things with Juventus during his time in his very early years in football. He's been capped by Italy 4 times as well. And you can tell exactly why I wanted to bring this guy in, man. Now, physically, as you can see, 16 stamina and 14 natural fitness. I love that on a central midfielder. But with a resilient personality, look at this guy's mental stats, man. 18 bravery, 15 composure, 16 determination, 16 teamwork, and 18 for work rate as well. Those are my 3 favourite stats there. I always say this: determination, teamwork, and work rate. So to have them all in light green, oh yeah, this is my sort of player. And technically as well, 16 marking, 12 passing, 14 tackling with 11 first touch too. He's not bad technically either. So Sturaro comes in. He is unsurprisingly listed as a ball-winning midfielder as his primary role, or a box-to-box as a secondary, although really with limited offensive prowess, in my opinion, he should just be a ball-winning midfielder at most. But either way, I love his stats, mentally particularly. And again, these are the sort of players, and I say this all the time, every single team, whatever club they are, whatever level they play at, whether they play in Europe or not, whether they play in League 2 or not, whether they play in non-league or not, every single club needs a player like this, a workhorse, a guy that just never stops running and is all about the work rate, the teamwork, and has determination as well. So Sturaro comes in again, £5 million, cheap deal. The contract is a little bit pricey, 40 grand a week on a 4-year deal, but really, again, the reason why he gets his money is because he works hard. You know, you work hard, you get your money, simple as that. So Sturaro comes in, and again, so happy about it. You know, these guys, the size we made, they're not exciting players, but that was to be expected. We got £20 million to work with in the summer. We weren't gonna buy like a Moise Keane, for example. You know, it just wasn't gonna happen. I did miss out on the guy that I really wanted. I'll show you him now. And that is this guy right here. Yes, if you watched my Sheffield United FIFA 20 career mode this year, you know all about this guy, Riccardo Orsolini, who we had at Roma at the Stadio Olimpico. It was absolutely fantastic. Well, rest assured, he's just as good in FM as he is in FIFA career mode. All across the board, some fantastic stats, particularly mentally, with 18 determination, 16 work rate, 15 flair, and technically really good with the ball at his feet as well. Bologna in the summer put him on the transfer list for some reason of just £11 million. And of course, I put the bid in. I tried to negotiate with him, but the agent just was not interested because there was big interest from Milan, Inter, Juve, Lazio, Atalanta as well, all wanting to pick up Orsolini on a budget £11 million cut price deal. And unsurprisingly, I mean, he chose to go to Milan over little old Brescia. That's not a surprise, really, but I was gutted about it, man. Absolutely gutted, because this would have been an absolute steal, but unfortunately, he decided to go to the San Siro, and you can't blame him for wanting to play Champions League football instead of playing under me. So, yeah, Orsolini, he was the one we really wanted this summer, but sadly weren't able to get him. He'd rather go to the San Siro. Totally fine with that, as it was to be expected. So yeah, really in the end, I was relatively happy with the business we did. As you can see with the departures, yes, it was sad to lose Gallardi and Lucignoli, two really good young talents, but again, it's better to get something for them. £2.5 million combined for the two, and again, those 50% sell-on clauses that really could come in handy in the future. If they turn out to be really good players, we're going to get a lot of money paid back into the club in the future. So it was the best we could do, really, with those two players having their deals up come the end of the year. And the key for me, and I discussed it in the season finale as well, was not totally blowing up the budget. I didn't want to just bring in a load of squad players on really high contracts. To me, the key was not having a repeat of last season, where, as you can see, in the wage budget, we had a massive spike. Look at that last season. We spent, I should say, we increased the wage bill by £142,000. An incredible spike there in terms of the money we're paying out on player contracts, whereas this season it's only an extra £16,000 a week. So the wage budget remains relatively the same, as opposed to having a big spike. That was the key for me, avoiding that big spike, putting players on pricey contracts. We haven't done that this season. I think really the way we managed the finances was very mature, a very mature and responsible thing to do. And it also means, because we were able to keep a lot of money in the bank balance, we were able to reinvest that money in other areas at the club. And as you could see, the area I decided to ask the board to improve this year was the training facilities. I asked the board to improve the training facilities. Right now they're great. I want them to improve. The board decided to grant my request, and as you can see, it will take over a year to do. They won't be finished until late October next year, but either way, the training facilities are now going to go up from great to is it excellent? They go up from great to excellent. So yeah, the training facilities are increasing, and that's very key for player development. And as for the team as well, you can see the assistant report here. We've got a lot more strengths and weaknesses, which is always very nice to see. We're a very determined, hard-working group of players, which is exactly what you want to see. And as for the squad depth as well, again, not really much change to the team in the summer window. Obviously, again, just bringing in those four players there. You know, a new centre-back coming in, Zaccagni coming in to help with Claudio Bacardi's development, and of course Stefano Sturaro as our new ball-winning midfielder as well. Not that much change, but really, again, I'm fine with the team. You know, last season we had an amazing team, so why blow it up and change it? Why mess with a sort of winning formula? Taking a brief look at the dynamics of the club, as you can see, there are currently no player issues within the team. You love to see it. The dressing room atmosphere is very good, as is the managerial support, and the team cohesion is good as well. The hierarchy has not changed since last season, neither has the captaincy and vice-captain. It remains as Basoli wearing the armband, and Sabelli as his right-hand man. Tistana is still a team leader as well, which I really like to see. So no change there. The social groups look like this. We've got 4 splits right now. Sturaro and Zaccagni struggling to fit with the other team. Other players, which hopefully will increase and improve in time. And moving on real briefly to something which is important to me and something I care about quite a lot, probably a bit too much because it's a bit stupid to care about it now when we're not even close to being a European team. But as you can see, these are the changes to the homegrown status. Obviously, there's homegrown status here. As you can see, for Petty, I discussed it earlier, because we've re-signed him, he'll get trained and homegrown by the club in April, actually, this season. Armini, Rovaglia, Barb Barbieri, Parola and Marco Mola and Iglio as well are all going to be homegrown and trained by the club at the end of this season too, which is really nice to see, especially for the case of Nicola Armini, Parola and Mola as well. And Salcedo and Esposito are both going to get it at the end of next season. Keep them on for one more season after this one and they'll both become homegrown and trained by the club. In terms of new contracts as well, I just want to show you this really briefly too. I did show it very briefly on Twitter. For those of you that follow me on Twitter, you would have seen this. If you don't follow me on Twitter, as I always say, guys, please do so at Docklanders, as I keep you guys updated with what's going on in the save. As you can see, some big extensions got signed in the summer. Tommaso Barbieri, who is our third choice right back, progressing very nicely in training. He signed a new 5-year deal, as did Marco Mola, our goalkeeper. Very happy about this. He also signed a new 5-year deal as well, as did Lorenzo Parola, one of our most talented centre-halves here. Another 5-year deal, that optional contract extension by a year as well. Very happy with that one too. And the biggest contract extension was Claudio Picardi. Yes, I discussed this in the season finale. There was interest from major European clubs. Thankfully, that has all gone because I convinced him to stay at Brescia. He signed a new 4-year deal, £6,000 a week, and peep the optional extension. Oh yeah, 2 years if we wish to do so, which of course we definitely will. So Picardi is here for the long term, absolutely buzzing. He hasn't increased his determination since he got one more stat on it. Quite disappointed about that. Obviously, the personality's changed. Very happy about that one. But yeah, Picardi stays. He's got a long way to go though. Labelled as the next Roberto Baggio. You love to see it. And of course, homegrown, trained out of the club, out of the academy. Had a great season last year. His sort of debut breakthrough season for us. So I'm hoping for bigger things this season from CP14. And one thing I also decided to do in the summer as well was totally restructure our backroom staff as well. And now we have the best goalkeeping coaching in the division, the best attacking coaching and technique coaching in the division. Defense is just one below Juventus right now. But yeah, I decided to really improve our coaching team in the summer. I've said this before and I said it on Twitter as well last night. I love restructuring and revamping a coaching team and a backroom staff. It's just, as I often say, you know, I never give tips in Football Manager because I always say I am not a very good player. Obviously, you know, that's become evident. That's been evident for a while now. But the one thing I will always suggest is that you always pay attention to your backroom staff. You want a good backroom staff. If you want your players to develop, they need to be coached at a higher level. So always make sure you improve this as quickly as you can. And I'm very happy with the improvements we made over the summer with our coaching team. And I don't think there's anything else to show you other than the competition expectations for this season, where once again the board have said please reach the first round of the Tim Cup. If we beat Perugia, the Serie B side, we will be able to hit that for the third straight season. And also the interesting thing is the league objective actually changed in the summer. Remember last season the board came to us with a club vision and said keep avoiding relegation. Well, actually in the summer we came back and they said finish mid-table. Finished mid-table in the Serie A. So our expectation has gone up pretty significantly from just trying to avoid relegation to finishing mid-table. But of course, last season after finishing in 11th place, only being 4 points behind Cagliari for a top 10 finish, there's no reason why we can't finish in the top 10 this season. And if it doesn't happen, then just here, finishing mid-table, again around 12th to 16th, that's where I said I think we'll be finishing this season. The board should still be happy with that as well. The media predicts we'll finish in 14th place this season. We made a lot of change to our team in such a short space of time. So yeah, if we can finish in the mid-table places, where I predict we'll finish anyway, the board will be happy once again. And as we will dive into the first and only game of this episode, away against Atalanta in the Serie A season opener. Brief look at how pre-season went for us, and as you can see, all green dots won every single game apart from a defeat at home to Hamburg. Who knows, maybe Cesar Valente bagged a couple of assists there, I don't know. But anyway, the only competitive game in this run in the summer was the Tim Cup third qualifying round, where as you can see, we beat recently relegated Frosinone by 2-1, and shock horror, who scored our first competitive goals of the season? Who scored the goals that won us the game? Who scores our goals? Sebastiano Esposito. Man, oh man, keeping hold of this guy. That's the key for long-term success with Brescia. Scored our first just 6 minutes in, and whilst Frosinone equalised from a set piece, he then ran onto a through ball 20 minutes after the restart, slotted it home past the goalkeeper to win us the game and send us into the fourth qualifying round, where again we'll be taking on Perugia at the start of December. Esposito, man, I tell you, man. You know, I've given him the. You'll notice I've given him the number 9 jersey for this season. Sebastiano Esposito. He wore 18 last year. That rookie 18 jersey that will sell for a lot in future years. But man, oh man, he's just a pure elite goal scorer at just 19 years old. And I'd love to give him a contract extension, but I know if I do that, the agent will not get rid of the minimum fee release clause. Please, major European clubs, don't come in for him in winter or the summer, man. We can't afford to lose this guy. But yeah, starting with the first and only game today's episode then is indeed the season opener away against Atalanta. Pretty sure we'll lose this one as we have a horrendous record against one of our rivals, but you never know, and this will be our team. Right now, an injury report coming back from pre-season. 2 players are down. Iglio, who is down with a pulled calf muscle, and Bacardi as well, sadly is out with a twisted ankle, and it was the first couple of games of the season. Everyone else is fine, and this is our team. Sticking with the tiki-taka, because we had so much success with it last season, and this is our lineup. Ordero's in goal. The back 5 is Muru, Sistana, Peroda, Armini, and DePauli right wing back, with Viviani and Bisoli through the middle. Zaccagni makes his Serie A debut for us with a dynamic duo Salcedo and Esposito up top. On the bench, you've got Mola, Magnani, Papetti, Martella, Sabelli, Sturaro, Mazzai, Moratti, Dalmonte, Torre Grosso, Ravaglia, and Patagna as well. First and only game, it's the Serie A season opener, Atalanta away, Forza Brescia. Yeah, I mentioned it very briefly earlier. We've not got a good enough team to challenge for a Europa League spot in the next year or two, I would say. I think we've got to wait like 3 or 4 seasons before we can start targeting a Europa League spot. But breaking into top 10, I think we can do it. I definitely think we can, as Zaccagni floats in a free kick, and Armini almost gave us the lead here away from home. But I don't think there's any reason why we can't break into the top 10. You know, last season, we had such a fantastic campaign, finishing in 11th place. We've kept the core of this side here. That was the key for me. We haven't lost anyone significant. And again, the players continue to improve because we've got such a young team. We've got a better coaching staff now as well. There is no reason why, in my opinion, we can't finish in the top 10 this year. Get a solid result on the opening day, and I'll feel confident as DePauli finds Esposito. Oh, keep this guy here, and we will finish in the top 10. I say keep these 2 guys here. These 2 are players of the season last year, starting off where they left off last season. Fabio DePauli, the assist king, with 1 on the opening night, and Sebastiano Esposito, who, by the way, I believe the media have tipped him to be the 4th favourite for the Golden Boot winner this year, makes it 1-0 and finishes like a true number 9 does. Brescia in front, and a great way to close out a very solid first half. Fabio DePauli as well. I said it before, when you look at his stats, there's nothing there that makes you think this guy should be amazing. But just like Jason in my Cardiff save, he is. He's an extraordinary player, and we do have the lead. As Esposito wins it back, this guy is literally everywhere tonight, as we still lead by 1, and what a surprise, because it's straight back to Fabio, who plays it back to Armini, as we shall look to play out for in the back. I love DePauli, I love Esposito, and as sad as I was losing Sandro Tonali, I briefly discussed it last season. I think we're in better shape without him, because these 2 of our new boys are so good. Esposito beats Luperto, pegs it back. Bisoli, oh, what a goal by the captain. Brescia lead by 2, what a performance. I'll say this right now, there is no way Sebastiano is still at Brescia at the beginning of next season. Absolutely no chance. This guy is too good for us, man. Just like Sandro Tonali was too good for us, Esposito's too good for us. A major European club will snap him up on that release clause, either in winter, as Atalanta just put that ball wide the post there, or in the summer next year. If he's not gone in January, he'll be gone in the summer, no doubt about it. He's too good. And Brescia lead by 2 with 20 minutes to go. And almost made it 3. Zaccagni looking for his first goal for the club. Had his shot crucially blocked there as we do win ourselves a corner. But what a performance, man. Dominated possession. Statistically, it seems like an even game. Apart from the possession stat. We've looked a better team though, man. We're full value for this 2-0 lead. Free kick, Brescia, Sebastiano floats onto the back stick, and oh, there it is, right this time, Zaccagni gets his first goal for the club on his first Serie A start for the side, and the guy that gets the assist, oh my word, Sebastiano, unbelievable player. Our number 9 with a goal and sets up the other 2. Too good for Brescia, man, too good. And that is going to do it. It is a win on the opening night for Brescia for the 2nd straight season after we beat Frosinone last year in the first game of the season. And we beat Atalanta by 3 goals to 0 away from home. My goodness gracious me. Also, we had our first scalp of the series last year with a win over Roma. We had draws back-to-back against Milan, and we drew with Inter as well. We were very close to drawing with Juventus too, and Atalanta as well, who last season in the Serie A, as you can see, finished in 7th place, Europa League spot, and the season before that, 3rd place. Fantastic victory, and what a way to start off. 3-0, the final score on the opening night. I'm buzzing, man. What a start. But it's all about this guy, man. It is all about this guy. He is the reason why we got the win. He is the reason why we've made so much progression. Sebastiano. Man, oh man. Someone's going to meet that man. And again, I would offer him a new contract, but the agent will keep it in there at £51 million. He won't increase it. He might reduce it even, to be fair. And as he's got 4 years left on his deal as well, it just wouldn't make sense. Sebastiano, though, unstoppable. And again, if he can just stay here for 2 more seasons, this one and the next one, he will be homegrown and trained by Brescia. And you have no idea how valuable that will be to us as the years go by. Sebastiano, what a player, man. What a player. But that was this episode of Club and Country, guys. A big thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy this episode, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. And we'll come back with games against... Let's do... I quite fancy Milan away at the San Siro, I must say. Milan away and Spal at home. Let's do that. Have a great day, guys. Much love. And I'll see you for the next episode of Club and Country very soon.